Welcome to Chats with Courtney and Jess.
Hello, everyone.
This is our new series, Chats with Courtney and Jess. Jess and Courtney chatting with you.
We're going to be talking about Durham and all things triangle.
And all things home buying, relocating.
And our experiences. And they're, it's going to be a kind of it might be all over the place, but that's okay.
It'll definitely be all over the place.
So stick with us.
Please, buckle in. It's going to be a journey, but we're excited.
Yeah. So I'll let you start, Courtney.
Yeah.
About your experience choosing Durham and moving here and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. I moved to Durham almost 15 years ago. I made the choice to move to Durham almost 16 years ago. So I was a pregnant mom, and my dad lived in Virginia, in Norfolk, Virginia, and he was having some health issues that I just wanted to be closer to him to help should he need it. And I guess the easy move would have been to move to Norfolk, Virginia. But for those unfamiliar with the area, that's a military town. It's a Navy town. And my work before working in real estate, I was a hairstylist. So I needed a place where people were putting down roots and living there for long periods of time. And Navy towns tend to be a little bit more temporary, transient. At least in Norfolk, that's how it felt. Right. Also, I'm not really a beach town vibe kind of girl.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the things that people love to say about Durham, which when you're from California and you live on the coast and your coastline is very rocky, you're like, it's a little bit of an eye roll, but everybody loves to say, you're only 2 hours from the beach and 2 hours from the mountains. And I was to be like, guys, I was 10 minutes from the beach and 10 minutes from the mountains. Right. But
I mean, yeah, in California, I think I lived in Oakland, so I saw water every single day.
That was honestly one of the first things I had to get used to living here is driving over an overpass. I would always catch myself looking for the view, for the vista, and it was never there. It was just more roads. But that's one of the things that kind of hit me the hardest moving here was, I could be hiking in Tilden Park in the afternoon, and then I could be, at the beach having a bonfire in the evening. So anyway, I made the decision to move to the East Coast. I did have my kiddo in California, and we were living in Alameda at the time in a shoebox apartment. It was a 1-bedroom. I thought we had so much space.
Right.
Because we had a dishwasher too, which was like the highlight of my life. And so my husband and I at the time, he was my husband at the time, we started researching different areas. So we looked into moving to Philadelphia. We quickly ruled that out because driving down to Norfolk would have been passing through major cities and lots of traffic. It didn't feel quick and accessible. Plus I wanted a city vibe, but not a big city vibe. I was kind of growing tired of that. Where I lived in Alameda, I mean, we called it island living, right?
Yeah. I mean, Alameda is it does remind me so much of Durham.
It does.
Like it is very small town. Like it's very quaint. It's very cute.
And accessible. Like everything was accessible.
Yes.
I just put the kid in the stroller and I could go
to the beach, to the wherever, shops, restaurants.
Trader Joe's, Safeway. Remember Safeway?
Safeway.
Oh my gosh.
Safeway.
R.I.P. And it was walkable. Everything was easy and accessible. Yeah. So we kind of ruled out Philadelphia for distance to where I wanted to be. Looked into Richmond, Virginia, which was a top contender. I really love Richmond a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, there was a lot of news at the time about the growth and possibility happening here in the Research Triangle Park area. So we really focused our search to Raleigh because everybody says Raleigh. When they talk about the Triangle, at least back then, it was always Raleigh focused.
Yeah.
And Raleigh was, again, the biggest city. So I was like, cool, I'm trading like a major city for like a less major city.
Right.
And we ended up moving to North Raleigh in just kind of your, run-of-the-mill apartment complex. I didn't love it. I didn't feel, I'm covered in tattoos and my ex-husband is a tattooer and kind of looks like a biker, not like the vroom vroom, not the pedal kind,
Yeah.
And, I would take my kid to the park in the winter, full sleeves, covered, everything, and it was fine. But in the summertime, people were very hesitant to connect with me. And so I found it really hard to find my people in Raleigh. But, then we moved to Chapel Hill, which I thought was going to be a little bit better, but it was a swing in a different direction for me. I was doing hair, and I was mostly home with my kid. And, I didn't meet my people. I just didn't meet my people.
Yeah.
And finally the day came where we were able to invest in our first home. And I was like, we have to do Durham. When we first started researching the area and we were driving to all the different places, I immediately felt connected to Durham, but the narrative at the time, and maybe still is that people are like, don't go to Durham, don't live in Durham. But I felt immediately connected to Durham.
Yeah.
It was just this instinct that I had. So we bought a home in Hope Valley Farms, our first little home. We were very lucky, and I'll never leave. This is where I found my community. This is where I found my people. I immediately found somebody who's like still to this day one of my best friends. Our kids have essentially grown up together. They go to the same school. It was pretty immediate that I found my people here.
Yeah.
Tattoos and all.
Tattoos and all. Yeah. That's so amazing. So my story is just progressing. So my ex-husband and I,
look at us.
We had
cheers to ex-husband.
Cheers to the first.
Yes,
right?
That's right.
So we had looked at Atlanta, Nashville. We looked at Philadelphia. We looked at DC, Baltimore. We looked at Charleston, Charlotte, and we visited them all. And we spent probably a good amount of time in each location. And this is before I had gotten pregnant. So I want to say maybe 6 months before I got pregnant with Isla. And I just remember coming to Durham and feeling like, wow, this reminds me so much of Oakland and so much of just the Bay Area. And I was like, I had just seen such beautiful people in Durham, and everyone talked to us. Everyone was friendly. Everyone was just like,
but like not in that passive Southern way though.
No, not
right? Like no shade, but like it was like, it's like a friendly of like, oh, hey, like, how are you?
How are you? Yeah. And like, do you want to, I can't even tell you the last time someone like approached me in the Bay Area. I don't think it's like ever happened where someone actually was like, hey, like, I like your sweater, and, are you from here? Or like, they're just interested, right? I think in Durham, we're just kind of, and because honestly, I feel like we're such a small town that you kind of know everyone after like a short amount of time. You're like, I know that's my barista.
Yeah.
I know she works at Whole Foods. Yeah. I know,
Yeah.
So I think if you see someone that you're like kind of unfamiliar with, you're like, let me get to know them, or, see what's happening.
And I think people in Durham want to share the best parts of Durham with everyone.
I think they do. Yeah.
They're like, have you heard about this cool thing happening over here? And I was like, what? Food truck rodeo? Sign me up.
Yeah. Like we got so many recommendations. Like someone was like, you got to go to Pizzeria Toro. You got to this is my hairstylist. It was great. And so it stuck in my mind. And I know that it stuck in my ex-husband's mind. And we went back to California. I ended up pregnant, I think, that November. And I was just like, we gotta plant roots. Like, we can't pay. We'll never buy a house here. I was like, houses in Vallejo were, above 4. I think our budget was like low 3s. Yeah. And I was like, we can't not set us up for success and this child up for success. I was like, I don't want to work 40 hours a week just to pay rent to
And then
someone else.
commuting on top of that.
Commuting. And the work that I was doing was in a school. I was in operations at a school. So it was very draining for me emotionally. And I was working with kids with autism and disabilities. And it was just a lot. And I felt like I need to this just doesn't fit anymore, the life that I had in the Bay Area. I also was so lonely in the Bay Area.
Yes, I agree. No, I can really relate to that. I felt very lonely in the Bay Area.
I was so lonely. I mean, I have great friends there and I still do, but I was just so lonely. So my best friend Janet, shout out to Janet, she was like, Jessica, you got to get out of here. And they had just bought a house in Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama. And she was like, you got to do it. Like, there is no, you can always come back home, but you got to do it. So we're like, Durham's it. We just feel like it is the place that feels most like home. It is the place where we sat down and people engaged with us. And we were like, another thing is we also saw couples that were like us. So I'm in a biracial relationship. I felt safe to walk around with my white husband where, like, even in the Bay Area, we kind of got looks being in like Walnut Creek. I think we lived in Walnut Creek at the time. But here it was so people were like, oh, you have a white husband. Let's go out to dinner or something. I don't know. It was weird, but also amazing.
It was weird.
It was like, oh, she's Black. He's white. That's great. Like, it just felt great. Like, it really did, to see people that looked like us, that wanted to obviously establish sort of this sort of vibe of, you know, people feeling safe and welcome. And so, yeah, we decided on Durham. We bought our house, and I think like maybe a week into us actually moving here, I met my best friend, which her name is Victoria, and her daughter is Ari. And it's been 3 years of just like magical, just magic. I can't imagine living anywhere else and not actually taking the plunge.
That's the scary part, is taking the plunge.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I was so hesitant.
Because it's scary. I mean, you're moving across the entire country, leaving everything that you know, jumping into something that feels unfamiliar, yet also deeply familiar.
Yes.
That's sort of how I felt. One of the things that I was really searching for too when I moved here was, I knew that living in the Bay Area, I was not going to be able to afford a home. And the way that I grew up, I moved a lot for, various reasons. And I didn't really have one place that I could call home, be it a physical home where I lived or a physical neighborhood or just even a town. I moved states a lot. I moved countries. And I really wanted to provide that stability that I didn't have for my kids.
Exactly.
So homeownership is something that I'm so grateful for. And it didn't even have to be just homeownership. I just wanted to be somewhere where I could spend the next, 20, 30 years so that my kids could have the roots and the community that I lacked. Because obviously as parents, we're always trying to give our kids, what we didn't have. We're just running on information that, that we have.